නවගුණ ගාථා.
අරහං අරහෝති නාමේන අරහං පාපං නකාරයේ අරහත් පලං පත්තෝ අරහං නාමති නමෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්ධ ඥානේන සම්මා සම්බුද්ධ දේශනා සම්මා සම්බුද්ධ ලෝකස්මින් සම්මා සම්බුද්ධති නමෝ විඤ්ඤා චරණ සම්පන්නෝ තස්ස විඤ්ඤා පකාසිතා අතීතා නාගතුක්ඛන්නෝ විඤ්ඤා චරණති නමෝ සුඛකත්තානං සුඛතෝ සුන්දරං පිත නිබ්බානං සුගතින් යන්ති සුඛතෝ නාමති නමෝ ලෝකවිදුති නාමේන අතීතා නාගති විදෝ සංඛාර සත්තමෝඛාසී ලෝකවිදු නාමති නමෝ අනුත්තරෝ ඥාන සීලේන යෝ ලෝකස්ස අනුත්තරෝ පූජලෝකස්මින් සම්නමස්සාමි අනුත්තරෝ සාරති සාරති දේවා යෝ ලෝකස්ස සුස නරසීහ ගාථා. චක්කවරං කීත රත්ත සුපාදු ලක්කන මණ්ඩිත ආයත පන්හි චාමර චත්ත විභූසිත පාදු ईसाहितुई है पिता नारसिंह सत्य कुमार वारो सुख मालो लखन विद्यत पुण्य सारीलो लोक हिताय गाथो नारवीरो साहितुई है पिता नारसिंह पुण्य ससंग निभंग वन्नो देव नारायण पियो नारनारो मत गजिंद विलासित गामी साहितुई है पिता नारसिंह खत्तिय संभार अंग कुलीनो देव मनुष्य नामंजित पादो नील समाधि पातिकुंचित साहितुई है पिता नारसिंह आयत तुंग सुसंडित नासो गोप मुको आभिनील सुमित इंद्रधनु आभिनील भामुको कंचन सुच विउत्तम वन्नो साहितुई है पिता नारसिंह स्मित सुगंभीर मंजु सुकोसो इंगुल बंधु सुरत्न सुजीव विसति विसति सीत सुदंतो साहितुई है पिता नारसिंह अंजन वर्ण सुनील सुकेशो कंचन पट्ट विशुद्ध लालाटो औषधि पंडर शुद्ध सुनो साहितुई है पिता नारसिंह गच्छति नील पातिवीय छंदो तार गणा पारिवेदित रूपो सावक मंज कातो सामनिंदो साहितुई है पिता नारसिंह पटिच्च समुप्पाद अविद्या पच्चया संहार पच्चया विज्ञान සලායතනං සලායතන පච්චයා संभवन्ति एवमेतस्त केवलस्त दुःखकन्दस्त समुदयो होति अविद्यायत्देव अशेष विराग निरोधा संहार निरोधो संहार निरोधा विज्ञान निरोधो विज्ञान निरोधा नाम रूप निरोधो नाम रूप निरोधा सलायतन निरोधो सलायतन निरोधा हस्त निरोधो हस्त निरोधा वेदना निरोधो वेदना निरोधा तन्हा निरोधो तन्हा निरोधा उपादान निरोधो उपादान निरोधा भाव निरोधो भाव निरोधा जाति निरोधो जाति निरोधा जरा मरणं शोक परिदेव दुःख दोमनसुपायासा निरुच्यन्ति एवमेतस्य केवलस्त दुःखकन्दस्त निरोधो होति චතුරාර්යක භාවනාව නමාමි බුද්ධං ගුණසාගරන්තං සත්තා සදා හොන්තු සුඛී අවේරා කායෝ ජීකුච්චෝ සකලෝ දුගන්ධෝ ගච්ඡන්ති සබ්බේ මරණං අහංච නමාමි ධම්මං සුගතේන දේසිතං සත්තා සදා හොන්තු සුඛී අවේරා කායෝ ජීකුච්චෝ සකලෝ දුගන්ධෝ ගච්ඡන්ති සබ්බේ මරණං අහංච නමාමි සංඝං මුනි රාජ ශාවකං සත්තා සදා හොන්තු සුඛී අවේරා කායෝ ජීකුච්චෝ සකලෝ දුගන්ධෝ ගච්ඡන්ති සබ්බේ මරණං අහංච
මානවක ගාථා
යෝවද තං පාවරෝ මනුජේසු සක්ඛ්‍ය මුනි භාගවා කාතකිච්චෝ පාරගතෝ බල විරිය සමංගී තං සෝග තං සරණත් මුපේමි රාග විරාගම නීජම සෝකං ධම්මම සංකාතම පාටිකුලං මధుරමි මං පාගුණං සුවි භත්තං ධම්මමි මං සරණත් මුපේමි යත්තච දින්න මහ පාලමාහු චතුසු සුචිසු පුරිස යෝගීසු අට්ඨච පුක්ඛල ධම්ම දාසාති සංගමි මං සරණත් මුපේමි
අඩවන් වූ දෙනතින් ගලනා මෙත් මුදිතා කරුණා ධාරා අඩවන් වූ දෙනතින් ගලනා මෙත් මුදිතා කරුණා ධාරා තෙමා තෙමා අද ගලා ගලා යන ලෞතුරු ගුණ මහිමේ තෙමා සතෙමා අද ගලා ගලා යන ලෝතුරු ගුණ මහිමේ මහමෙවුනා උයනේ සමාධි බුදු පිළිවේ අඩවන්නු දෙනෙතින් ගලනා මෙත් මුදිතා කරුණාධාරා පිරිතිරි යන මහවතුරක් සේ ගලා හැලෙන සිහිලල් ගඟුලක් සේ ගිමන් නිවාලන මේ භව කතරේ නිවන් සදාලන බුදු ගුණ මහිමේ මහමෙවුනා උයනේ සමාධි බුදු පිළිවේ මහමෙවුනා උයනේ සමාධි බුදු පිළිවේ අඩවන්වු දෙනෙතින් ගලනා මෙත් මුදිතා කරුණාධාරා අඩවන්වු දෙනෙතින් ගලනා මෙත් මුදිතා කෙලෙස් මල පිරිනුවර අතහැර බවුන් වඩනට වනේ වැඩි ඔබ කෙලෙස් මල පිරිනුවර අතහැර බවුන් වඩනට වනේ වැඩි ඔබ සොයා අනෙක් පිටක් නොමැති වූ විට ඇසේ මතුවන කඳුළු බිඳගෙන ඔබේ සිරිපාත වන්නම් අදේ මැලවෙන කැලෑවල්ගෙන ඔබේ සිරිපා පුදන්නම් ඉහළ නිල්වන් අහස විනිවිද නැගෙන ඔබගේ අහස විනිවිද නැගෙන ඔබගේ යෝධ බුදු බඳ මගේ නෙත සිත මෝහනය කර මගේ නෙත සිත මෝහනය කර මගේ කුදු බව පසක් කර ඔබේ සිරිපාද ගෙනගත් වැලි තලයේ තණ්හා ආශා උතුරන ගංගා නියගය ආදා උතුරන ගංගා නියගය ආදා වියලී යනවා ගහකොළ මැලවී වියලී යනවා ගහකොළ මැලවී මල් පට ගන්නා වසන්තයවන මල් පට ගන්නා වසන්තයවන හැමදා අප යන මේ ගමනේ තණ්හා එළිය සොයන්නෝ හැමදා අඳුරේ අඳුර දකින්නෝ අඳුර දකින්නෝ දිවියේ සාරය දිවියේ සාරය මෙපමණ ඇත්තේ අඳුරේ අප හැමවල්මත් මේ තණ්හා ආශා සැපත විනෝදේ උපත කනුලවේ විපත පියා වේ ලොව සැපතේ විපත පියා වේ ලොව සැපතේ යපුතු දෙදෙනා එකටයි ඉන්නේ කිසිදා නැසුම්ෙන් ඔලගු කරේලා මගතොට නුබාලා එළිය දකින්නද මේ යන්නේ සැපත සොයන්නද මේ යන්නේ කතරේ ගිනිගත් වැලි තලයේ තණ්හා ආසා තණ්හා ආසා
tatonang sukamanveti chayava anapayini subhanupassin viharantang indriyesu asangutang bhojanam hiyamatanyung kusitang inaviriyang tang vipasahati maro vato rukkhaṃ vadubbalang asubhanupassin viharantang indriyesu susangutang bhojanam hicamatanyung saddhaṃ āraddha viriyang tang venappasahati maro vato silaṃ vapabbatang kayena sangvaro sadhu sadhu acārya.
Right, I'd like to start the proceedings by welcoming the venerable members of the Sangha and the assembled lay community. A very warm welcome to everyone gathered here today for this year's Kathina Day celebrations at Amaravati Monastery. We have come here wishing to make a Kathina offering to the Sangha which has spent the Vasa living here at Amaravati. This year, as last year, we will be honoured by the offering of Royal Kathina by His Majesty King Bhumibol of Thailand. He is joined in the Kathina by Amara and Dharmani Makalanda and faithful lay supporters from all parts of the world, many of whom are here today. To give you an outline of the proceedings, before the ceremonial offering of cloth and other requisites, we will pay homage to the Triple Gem. After taking of the refuges and precepts, the Paritta chanting, and the telling of the story of the Kathina, we will be joined by His Majesty King Bhumibol's representative, Mr. Bansan Bunag, Chargé d'Affaires at the Royal Thai Embassy, at which point the Thai Royal Anthem will be played. The Kathina cloth will be formally presented by His Excellency Mr. Bansan Bunag and by Amara and Dharmani on behalf of us, all of us, to 2 bhikkhus and to 1 siladhara, who will receive it on behalf of the bhikkhus and siladharas respectively. The 2 bhikkhus will announce the donation of all the Kathina offerings and nominate 1 senior and respected bhikkhu, who has spent the rains retreat at Amaravati, to receive the Kathina robe. The siladhara will likewise agree as to which senior and respected nun is to receive a robe at this time. The Sangha will then chant an Anumodana as an expression of appreciation for the generous support of the lay community. We will then have a short interval, after which Longpo Sumedho will be invited to offer some reflections on Dhamma, to which all are welcome to attend here in the temple. This will be followed by the distribution of calendars for next year, and the opportunity to share a cup of tea and enjoy the company of Sangha members and lay friends. Later in the evening, after most of us have left, the formal Sangha act, or Sangha Kama, of receiving the robes will take place within the monastic communities. So now that we are all gathered, we can begin the ceremony. After the puja, which will be led by Longpo Sumedho, we will bow 3 times. Afterwards. Doing chanting.
Silani yata. Tutiampi mayam bante srenena saha pancha silani yachama. Tatiampi mayam bante srenena saha pancha silani yachama. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. 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 Saranang gacchami. Dhammang saranang gacchami. Sanghang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Buddhang saranang gacchami. Dutiyampi Dutiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Dutiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Buddhang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Dhammang Saranang Gacchami. Tatiyampi Sanghang Saranang Gacchami. Tisarana Gamanang Nititang. Bādāni bātā Veramani Sikāpadam Samadhiyāmi. Kathina Dana Veramani Sikāpadam Samadhiyāmi. Game Sumichāchara Veramani Sikāpadam Samadhiyāmi. Musāvāda Veramani Sikāpadam Samadhiyāmi. Suraviraya Mātabhamātatthāna Veramani Sikāpadam Samadhiyāmi. Imāni pañca sikāpadāni sīlena sukatiñyanti sīlena bhoga sampatā sīlena nibhutiñyanti tasmāt silang visoṭaye.
We will now ask for the fruit of chanting, which will be requested by us at time 11.
Ukasa vipatapade pahaya sappa sampate sathiya sappa dukkha vinasaya paritang prutha mangkalang vipatapade pahaya sappa sampate sathiya sappa phaya vinasaya paritang prutha mangkalang vipatapade pahaya sappa sampate sathiya sappa rukkha vinasaya paritang prutha mangkalang.
Sumedho
we are celebrating today is the most important alms-giving ceremony of the Buddhist year. For over 2,500 years, supporters of the Theravadan monasteries have gathered together during the months of October and November to celebrate this festival. Kathina is a way of completing and marking the end of the annual rains retreat, the Vasa. During the 3-month retreat, the sanghas of the monks and nuns have been obliged by their rules not to travel unless absolutely necessary, but now some of them will be moving on. As winter approaches, this gesture of offering is the traditional way that lay friends of Amaravati express gratitude to the Sangha and assure that the basic requisites are provided. So how did the Kathina festival originate? According to the scriptures, the Lord Buddha was staying at Savatthi in the Jeta grove at Amaravati Monastery. A group of 30 forest-dwelling bhikkhus were on their way to spend the Vasa with him. Unfortunately, they were unable to reach Savatthi in time for the start of the rains, so they had to stay at Saketa for the 3-month retreat. Although the bhikkhus had longed to be with the Lord Buddha for the Vasa, they spent the retreat time together, practicing meditation and living in harmony. As soon as the Vasa ended, being allowed to travel again, they continued their journey to see the Lord Buddha. Finally, they arrived at Savatthi, weary and with tattered robes, and paid their respects to the Lord Buddha. On hearing what had happened, the Lord Buddha decided to encourage them, allowing them to roam freely after the rains retreat to gather cloth for robes. The Lord Buddha, knowing the inspiration that comes from sharing and from generosity, established a procedure whereby the bhikkhus could agree among themselves to make a gift of a robe to one of their number. And so, when they had procured enough cloth, the bhikkhus set about sewing a robe. In those days, the method they would have used involved spreading the pieces of cloth on a frame and stitching them together. The frame on which the robe was sewn was called a kathina. From that time up until the present day, lay supporters have observed the rule, allowing the offering of kathina cloth to be made at any time during the 4 weeks following the end of the Vasa. It should be mentioned that the Sangha is not allowed to initiate or request such an offering, it being stipulated that it should arrive unsolicited in the midst of the assembly as if wafted in on a breeze. Furthermore, according to the Buddha's advice, the cloth should be offered to the Bhikkhu Sangha as a whole, rather than to any particular individual. The bhikkhus would then formally agree which of them should receive it. Once the cloth has been offered, all the bhikkhus try to take part in the sewing of a robe, which must be cut, sewn and finished before dawn of the next day. As far as we know, there was no similar observance for the nuns community in the time of the Lord Buddha. However, at the request of the lay community, an allowance is now made for the Siddhadhara to receive cloth in a similar manner, and to present it to a designated member of their community. Much work has gone into coordinating this event, for although all that is required is enough cloth to make up one robe, usually many other gifts are offered, as we can see in the corner of the temple. So this then is the origin of the Kathina festival.
Sangvaro Sadhu Sadhu Ajahn Sangvaro Manasa Sangvaro Sadhu Sadhu Sabbatha Sangvaro Sabbatha Sangbuto Bhikkhu Sabba dukkha pamucchati Dhamma ramo dhamma rato Dhammang anuvichintayang Dhammang anusarang bhikkhu Saddhammana parihayati Appalabhopi ce bhikkhu Salabhang nati manyati Tang vidiva pasangsanti Suddha jiving atanditang
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa
Salabhang nati manyati Tang vidiva pasangsanti Suddha jiving atanditang Sabbaso nama rupasmin Yasnati mamaitang Asatacana sochati Save bhikkhuti bucchati Mitta vihariyo bhikkhu Pasanno buddha sasani Adhigacche padang santang Sankharupa samang sukhang Pamojja bahulo bhikkhu
ข้าพระกฐินทานกับทั้งข้าอานิสงส์สัตว์บริวารทั้งปวงนี้ของพระบาทสมเด็จพระปรมินทรมหาภูมิพลอดุลยเดชมหิตลาธิเบศรรามาธิบดีจักรีนฤบดินทร์สยามมินทราธิราชบรมนาถบพิตรผู้ทรงพระคุณอันเป็นกอบด้วยพระราชศรัทธาโปรดเกล้าโปรดกระหม่อมให้สถานเอกอัครราชทูตณกรุงลอนดอนน้อมนำมาถวายแด่พระภิกษุสงฆ์ซึ่งจำพรรษาทั่วไตรมาสในอาวาสวิหารนี้ขอพระสงฆ์จงรับผ้าพระกฐินทานนี้กระทำกฐินนักถารกิจตามพระบรมพุทธานุญาตนั้นเถิด
On behalf of all of us here, I would like to make this announcement. This royal robe and requisites belong to His Majesty King Bongpon Aobiang, the King of Thailand, and to the many faithful lay people gathered here today. This royal robe and requisites are offered by Mr. Bantan Bunan, Chargé d'Affaires at the Royal Thai Embassy, on behalf of His Majesty the King, and all faithful lay people gathered here, to the Venerable Bhikkhu Sangha who have been resident in this monastery for the 3-month rains retreat. May the Sangha receive this Kathina cloth and perform the Kathina ceremony in accordance with the Lord Buddha's allowance.
Together if we bow 3 times, please. And recite Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. If you follow, just repeat out. Imam Bante, Saparivaram, Kathina Chivara Dusam, Sangasa, Ono Jayama, Sadhuno Bante, Sango, Imam Saparivaram, Kathina Chivara Dusam, Patigan Hatu, Patita Hetvacha, Imina Dusena, Katinam, Attaratu, Amhakam, Digaratam, Hitaya, Sukhaya. May we, Venerable Sirs, offer this Kathina cloth to the Sangha together with the other requisites. Please accept this Kathina cloth and other requisites from us for our long-lasting welfare and happiness.
This Kathina cloth and all the present offerings here belong to His Majesty King Bhumibol Aotea, the King of Thailand, represented by His Excellency Mr. Bansang Unang, the Chargé d'Affaires at the Royal Thai Embassy. To Dharmani and Amaravati, and to all the faithful and generous laymen and laywomen who have gathered together for this occasion. This offering is being made to the Sangha, which has spent the 3-month rain retreat in this monastery. This Kathina cloth has come in as pure and unsolicited a way as if it had been wafted here on a breeze and settled in the midst of this assembly without favoring anyone in particular. However, the Lord Buddha has made a provision whereby the Sangha can agree to nominate one bhikkhu to receive the cloth. This bhikkhu must be one who knows the rules and observances concerning the Kathina Ceremony, according to the terms laid down by the Lord Buddha. And he must be one who can recite the aims and purposes of Lord Buddha's teachings. He should be pure in moral conduct and have the mindfulness and wisdom to be able to understand the Dhamma in all its facets. This, then, is the bhikkhu who can fulfill all the Lord Buddha's stipulations concerning the offering of the Kathina. And now, this assembly of bhikkhus must come to an unanimous decision as to which of them is best suited to receive the Kathina cloth.
This Kathina cloth and all these offerings have been considered suitable for Sumedho bhikkhu. He is a bhikkhu of mindfulness and wisdom and can perform the Kathina ceremony correctly according to the way established by the Lord Buddha. If any bhikkhu here disagrees, he should raise his objection now in the midst of this assembly. If everyone agrees, then they should express their agreement by saying sadhu in unison.
Please close this offering to the Sumedho community. It is considered suitable for Sister Penka. She is the Sumedho of pure conduct, mindfulness and wisdom, who understands the Dhamma in all its aspects. If everyone is in agreement with this, they should express their agreement by saying sadhu in unison.
Adhigacchi padang santang Sankharupa samang sukhang Yo havedaharo bhikkhu Yunjati buddha sasani Somang lokang pabhaseti Abhamutto vachandima Dhamma piti sukhang seti Vippasannena cetasa Ariyappave jite dhamme sadaramati pandito selo yatha ek ghano vadinana samirati evang ninda
Atirek jivitang Atirek wasatang jivatu Atirek wasatang jivatu Atirek wasatang jivatu Tikayu ko hotu, arogo hotu, Tikayu ko hotu, arogo hotu, Sukito hotu, Paramita Maharaja, Siddhikachang, Siddhikaman, Siddhilapo Teo Nichang, Paramita Maharaja, Vasantu, Bhavantu Sabata. Gale Tatande Sapanya Vatanyu Vidamatala. Gale Kathina Kariye Suchupute Sudatisu Vipassana Manata Savipura Orchidagina Yedata Hanumodanti Veya Vachangaronti Va Natina Dagina Onate Vipunya Samagino Rasamadateya Pativana Shito Yatadina Mahabalam Punyani Paraloka Samin Patita Onjivani Nanti Bhavantu Sabba Mangalam Rakantu Sabba Devata Sabba Buddha Rupavena Sada Soti Bhavantu Te Bhavantu Sabba Mangalam Rakantu Sabba Devata Sabba Dhamma Rupavena Sada Soti Bhavantu Te Bhavantu Sabba Mangalam Rakantu Sabba Devata Sabba Sanghalu Bhavena Sada Soti Bhavantu Te. May I have the attention of the Sangha? The Kathina offerings have been properly given, properly received, and properly acknowledged. The Sangha may now spread the Kathina. May all these offerings be held in store and made available for the bhikkhus, the siddharthas, and all those who live according to the precepts in this monastery.
We will now turn and chant the closing homage. Bow 3 times to the shrine and then 3 times to Honorable Sumedho. This marks the end of the formal part of the ceremony. However, we have prepared some gifts for the resident and visiting monks and nuns. I don't know if there are any children able to offer these to the Sangha, but Amara and Namani, who are here in the front, will help distribute the gifts as well after the talk. And of course, after the talk, we're all welcome to stay for tea and further conversations with members of the community and your friends. I'd like to take this moment as well to say thank you on behalf of everybody for all those who made so much effort to make this event possible.
Devram vere himi weda siti samaye ma sitiya nam saminduni ob pilisarana pata mama emi bawanduru katara gewa Sahasak domnas duk gini atere devena mahada sitivili gini andure saminda obe piliruwa dutu pamani nivi nivi anna arumaya kimadu devram vere himi weda siti samaye ma sitiya nam saminduni ob pilisarana pata mama emi bawanduru katara gewa ජීවමානවම හිමි දැකගන්නට මානෙත කලපින් මඳ බව වැටහේ එහෙයින් හිමි අනුරුව අභියස සිට බවුන් වඩමීමෙත් බුදුන් දකින්නට දෙව්රම් වෙහෙරේ හිමි වැඩ සිටි සමයේ ma sitiya nam saminduni ob pilisarana pata mama emi bawanduru katara gewa arunalu atirena himidiyami situvili pauwe perdiga ahase himiyani mama buduras dakagattemi himiyani mama buduras dakagattemi arunalu atirena himidiyami situvili pauwe perdiga ahase himiyani mama buduras dakagattemi himiyani mama buduras dakagattemi kaluvara gonu kota giman dawana manga gaman kalemi dura sasara pura kaluvara gonu kota giman dawana manga gaman kalemi dura sasara pura paskam sampat ekten kargen gaman kalemi dura sasara pura arunalu atirena himidiyami situvili pauwe perdiga ahase himiyani mama buduras dakagattemi himiyani mama buduras dakagattemi සිතෙන් මහ කරුණාවේ සිලිල ගලා එන බුදු හිමියනි ඔබේ මෙත්දාරේ මහ කරුණාවේ සිලිල ගලා එන බුදු හිමියනි ඔබේ මෙත්දාරේ
සම්මා සම්බුදු සරණයි ඔබ සැම නිදුක් නිරෝගී වේවා සිරි මහා බෝ සරණයි ඔබට දිගා සිරි
So, today was this wonderful day. Even the weather cooperated, bring sunshine. And yesterday it looked rather dismal here. Today it's all bright and sunny. And this year has been a very auspicious year for me especially. It's not only the 60th reign of His Majesty King Bhumipol in Thailand, 60 years as king. So that's one during this year, and then it was my 40th Vasa and 72nd birthday. You know, all seem to come together this particular year. Plus, the Sangha here in the UK is in real harmony. There hasn't been any discord this year. That is a miracle. So, anyway, it's very, and also, this is the 50th year of the English Sangha Trust, the ESP. So the ESP has been the charitable organization set up 50 years ago, 1956, here in England, with a venerable Kapilavaru bhikkhu, an English bhikkhu at that time, had this idea of establishing foundation so that Buddhist monks could come and live in the UK. So this was his idea, the venerable Kapilavaru, who passed away many years ago. And so it was set up deliberately in an intentional way to support Buddhist monks and nuns, so that that's its purpose. It was never set up as some kind of this Buddhist foundation, but it was established particularly to make make it possible for alms mendicants, Theravada alms mendicants, to live in this country. And so when I arrived in 1976 was the first time I came, the EST owned the Hampstead Vihara in London, and that was moribund, nobody in it. And the previous year, Venerable Ajahn Mahabua had visited England with the Venerable Panyavado, English speaker, and they had stayed at the Vihara in Hampstead. And so the Hampstead Vihara, the chairman, George Sharp, was asking Venerable Mahabua about establishing something in the UK. And so Ajahn Mahabua said, well, just you have to wait. That he didn't have anybody. And so it was a matter of waiting. So George kind of closed the Vihara down. And then when I came in 1976, on the way back to Thailand from the United States, I spent 3 days. This was the hot summer of 1976. And so it was like one of these, I had this incredibly good impression of the warm, sunny English climate. And people still talk about the long, hot summer of 1976. So anyway, that's when I first visited them. And at first I asked to stay at the Buddha the Thai temple, which was then in East Chin, it wasn't in Wimbledon. And they were quite willing to have me, but they were full up. They didn't have it, so I'd have to live with about 3 other monks in one room. And then Ajahn Panyavada, the British monk, had told me to contact George Sharp. So he'd given me the address of George Sharp, who was at that time the chairman of the English Sangha Trust. So, seeing the crowded conditions in Mount Buddha Pratik, I phoned George Sharp, and he immediately came, took me to the Hampstead Vihara. And from there, he kept coming and seeing me during the 3 or 4 days that I was in London, and seemed very interested and wanted me to stay on. So I said, well, I can't really do that. You have to come to Thailand and talk this over with my teacher, Ajahn Chah in Ubon in northeast Thailand. So George came a few months later to Thailand, and Ajahn Chah put him through the great test. I told Ajahn Chah about this situation here, and he didn't commit himself in any way, just looked his usual bemused expression without showing either aversion or interest. So I didn't know what to expect. So when George Sharp came, then he treated George not very nicely at first. And so, I think, Ajahn Chah's way of testing your metal to see what you're made of. And George, of course, managed to accept everything, and eventually it was agreed upon that he invited Ajahn Chah myself to come and live in London, the Hampstead Vihara. Come to see anyway, come to inspect the situation. So we arrived in England on May 6, 1977. Memorable, what's one of those memorable days? So this is actually my 30th year in living in England. So over that time, the idea was to establish a forest monastery. And so we weren't keen on living in London, but Ajahn Chah said to stay in London until we had more of a feeling and and opportunities to know the situation. So we stayed in the Hampstead Vihara, and we went on the alms round every day. He told us to go Vidlavan, and of course near Hampstead Heath, it's a rather nice part of London. It's a good walk, you know, so you could walk out of the Hampstead Vihara, walk up on Hampstead Heath in the morning, watch all these wealthy people walking their Afghan hounds and this is the most peculiar people out there at the moment. I very seldom brought any food. But during that time, of course, we met the gentleman that offered us the property in Chitters. And during that 2 years in London, it was pretty, there was Ajahn Virtamo and Ajahn Lando with me, and it was pretty tight squeeze. So at that time in Oxford, there was the Open Hope Buddhist Center owned by Mr. and Mrs. Saul. And so they invited us, made an open invitation for us to come and stay there whenever we had the occasion. So we had a relief during that 2 years of living in this lovely estate in Oxford. And there we started giving retreats, and first meditation retreat I ever gave was at the Open Hope Buddhist Center in Oxford. So then, when we acquired Chithurst, then that was in 1979. Then we moved out of London. We sold the Hampstead Vihara in order to buy the property in West Sussex. So during this time, this experiment, because all this time this was an experiment. Ajahn Chah, we stayed in England about a month, and then went back to Thailand. And I remember standing at Heathrow Airport saying goodbye to Ajahn Chah, and then he left, went to the departure gates. And I felt bereft, you know, like being abandoned in this strange country. How are you going to survive as a Buddhist monk in a non-Buddhist country? Now, Lupa Cha always had this wisdom and faith in the goodness of human beings. And this always impressed me, because having an American background, you kind of don't think people are basically good. You kind of assume that they're basically selfish, and they think of themselves, and it's a kind of cynical, negative attitude that I have, you know, about the human nature in general. Well, if you'd have asked me at the time about human nature, I was going to basically self-centered, selfish, and vain. Well, and because I can see those qualities in myself. But Lupa Cha, he never went along with that. I mean, I had my doubts about coming to live here in England. And I asked him, you know, how was I expected to keep all the Vinaya rules? Not handle money and all that if you're living in a society that doesn't understand what you are. You know, it's very strange, an anachronism in the whole European context. And so he said, well, wherever there are good people, you can go there. He said, are there good people in England? I said, well, I'm sure there are. He said, well, you can go. That impressed me because I've always remembered that as a statement of Lupa Cha's recognition of the goodness that is our humanity. And this I began to see is very necessary to recognize that human beings are basically good. Because at this time, it is a very cynical age that we're living in here and everywhere in the world. It's very materialistic and of course caters to selfishness, self-centeredness, and vanity. The modern society definitely encourages these qualities of being self-centered and vain. And you can see that the result is in general confusion, and even in an affluent society like this one, there's so much suffering, unhappiness, depression, drug addiction, alcoholism, mental illness, and all the rest. And yet, in a country, society basically well-run, stable, economically prosperous, and yet the misery is not due to because of the political structure or the economic, but the way we think. We create this misery, this suffering, this negativity. And of course, this is what the Buddha was pointing to 2,550 years ago. All even numbers, isn't it? No, I'm not giving any lottery numbers. What Charles was very much anti, superstition or anything like that. But so this suffering or dukkha then is the Buddha taught. His first sermon is based on this common experience of dukkha or suffering, the first noble truth. Now this is quite an interesting way to teach, isn't it? To put common human suffering as something noble, a noble truth. Because what's noble about suffering? And it's something we all want to get rid of, or run away from, or we spend our lifetimes trying to avoid it, or suppress it, or run from it. And yet it pursues us. We can see, in the midst of abundance, success, and all the worldly, positive worldly opportunities, even at the very best, there's still this something missing. Something not quite right, something incomplete that you cannot buy, or you cannot find in another person, or in a place, or anywhere, or anything. And this very suffering then is the first noble truth. It's beginning, instead of looking outward, or seeking for some kind of happiness or fulfillment outside, the Buddha established his teaching around contemplating, recognizing, investigating, understanding, and letting go of the causes of suffering. So these causes of suffering are not external. They're our own ignorance, lack of understanding, our being addicted to habits, being conditioned by society, and just being caught in a web of conditioning. Some of it quite good, some of it terrible, but yet it's all conditioned, it's all impermanent, and it's all dukkha as a quality. It's not, we can't find any condition that will truly fill this void, or fulfillment, or satiate this, or get rid of this dukkha. So the only way is to understand it. And so this is what the whole Buddhist experience is about. This is the essence. Understanding, looking into the nature of things. And of course we do that here. We look inward, we observe. We begin to notice and awaken to our own unhappiness, or fear, or doubt, or self-consciousness, or worry, anxiety, jealousy, envy, greed, and all the rest of the human emotions that are common to every human being since Adam and Eve, or wrong religion, right? Since the beginning of time. So then, my own experience in training in Thailand and with Luang Por Chah. And living within in the conventional form of the Dutonga monk, so that Luang Por Chah was always emphasizing this Vinaya, the monastic discipline. And this is the kind of agreement that you make when you ordain and you stay with Luang Por Chah, that you have to live within the restraint of this discipline. Well, being a free-loving, hedonistic American, this is not exactly what I was looking for. Was discipline. I was looking for liberation, you know, kind of, be enlightened, and without having to give up or suffer too much. I remember at the time it was all about LSD and drugs in Berkeley, California, and the kind of hopes of instant enlightenment. Spend $5, get some LSD and instant enlightenment. That sounds pretty good, actually. But I knew that that wouldn't work. That was not I could see through that one. So then finding myself in monastic form in Thailand, training. So this is when I first ordained. It was only for 2 years. I thought I'll only need 2 years, and then I can go back to the States. 2 years passed very quickly, and I began to understand the value of what I was doing. When you live with somebody like Ajahn Chah, he's exemplary. You kind of see the value of monasticism. It's not just a custom or tradition, religious tradition, that you've got to keep kind of propping up in a modern time. And that's how I saw it before. I just saw Buddhist monasticism as probably an ancient custom that no longer was appropriate to modern age. But it was through living with Luang Por Chah that I began to appreciate what they call the Dhamma Vinaya, or the teaching, the ultimate teaching, and the conventional form of monastic discipline. So in this way, you begin to really observe the causes of suffering. And of course, living at first in a Buddhist monastery in northeast Thailand, when you can't understand anything anyone's saying, and the weather's hot, and it's a very basic lifestyle. In those days, Wat Pah Pong or Luang Por Chah's monastery was very poor. It didn't have any wealth at all, and very basic. There was no physical comfort there. It was all, kind of very primitive. In fact, you had to draw water from the well every day and sleep on grass mats and walk barefoot on every morning collecting alms food. But still, during that time, I began to see, I didn't really mind that. That was all right. But the suffering I created was just creating frustration, fear, anxiety, self-consciousness. Because in the monastic life, of course, when you go and live in a country, in a different countries, many of you have experienced, and you have to learn another language. You have to learn their way of doing things, their way of living, and attitudes and values, and it's all just trial and error, and you feel frustrated. And then I would get paranoid. I start thinking they're plotting against me. I could go into kind of a paranoia. But something in me never really believed that these kind of mad states that would arise. And Ajahn Chah's way of teaching wasn't necessarily depend on language, on common language. Because he was always pointing at the present. There's always an encouragement to look and what is the suffering, what is the cause of suffering. So there's this continuous kind of pointing. And when I, of course, would blame the weather, mosquitoes, everything, this is how I'm conditioned as a person. my suffering is caused through too hot, food not good, mosquitoes, can't understand the language, it's your fault, it's the weather, it's Thailand's fault, it's whatever, it's out there. But of course this was not Dhamma, and this was the personal conditioning. And during that time, 10 years I spent with Lumpur Chao, and I became very clear, what that is, how I create suffering. I did learn to speak the language, and I adjusted to the conventions and the way they did things and the cultural attitudes. I was quite eager to learn. I didn't find any of it something that offended me or that I didn't want to do. It was just different. And of course it would bring up my own American conceit, because Americans have the conceit that somehow they can do everything better than anyone else. And as you can see, in the world today, and this is the problem of being American, you're conditioned like this. Well, in the context of Thai Forest Monastery, I began to see through these attitudes, because of just living there and the emphasis on awareness, mindfulness. So this mindfulness, then, to me, this word, what in Pali they call sati and sampajanya, mindfulness, awareness, I call it intuitive awareness. This ability that we all have to be fully present, to let go of the conditioned habits that we've acquired, the ignorance that we operate from, just by a simple ability to awaken and observe, to witness. And so in this tradition in Thailand, they would talk about, they use the mantra Bhutto all the time, which is a kind of mantra form of the word Buddha. And then they translate it as Uru, which means, and translate that into English as the one who knows, the knowing. And so this simple mantra, two-syllable mantra, Bhutto, you do Anapanasati, you inhale on food, toe, exhale, you use it for everything. So you kind of fill your consciousness with Bhutto. And then this attitude of knowing, of consciousness, awakeness, and knowing the way it is. So knowing the way it is, the Buddhist teaching of the Four Noble Truths is a kind of guide, a map, that I learned to use in order to observe attachment, selfishness, the cause of suffering, to observe, to recognize desire, and to recognize the absence of desire, and recognize when there is self and there's ego, and when there isn't. So this is the development of wisdom, the discerning ability that we all have as human beings to awaken and know the Dhamma, the truth. Awaken to the truth, or ultimate truth. So this is the kind of the great essential teaching that was established by the Lord Buddha so long ago in India. And it's a truth that isn't a matter of time or culture anymore. It's not about ancient India or Asian culture. It's about the way it is. And that way it is the same for all of us. I mean, the conditions change, cultural attitudes, habits, modern, ancient, advanced, backward, primitive, or whatever the conditions of the world might be. The awakened consciousness is the way out. It's the only possible way of resolving conflict and realizing the Dhamma, or the truth, ultimate truth. So this is, now this was in the Buddhist teaching, the Four Noble Truths. This is a very profound teaching. Even though it sounds simple, the Four Noble Truths and so forth. It's not a matter of thinking or analyzing, but it's like a map. It's a good road map. If you use it for traveling on, then you can observe, you get to the goal, you realize the truth. Because the truth is reality itself. It's not an abstract, kind of metaphysical, philosophical, ideal truth. But this awakened state is ignored, not recognized, not appreciated. And at this time, in modern societies such as this one, the suffering that we have and endless conflicts and problems that we have within ourselves, within our relationships, within our families and society, internationally, wherever. It's because this reality has never been fully recognized, never appreciated. So it is a matter of kind of trying to convert or convince or dominate another group. Where the Buddhist teaching isn't about converting anyone to becoming a Buddhist. The Buddha was not a Buddhist. And he didn't teach Buddhism. He taught Dhamma. Now this is very important because there's so many different Buddhist traditions now and different Buddhist conventions. And of course in a country like this it gets very confusing because there's so many books written, there's so many, so much available, so much information, translations from various Buddhist schools and traditions, not to mention all the other religions and philosophies now are available in libraries, in bookshops, internet. I even hear I'm on the internet, and I've nothing to do with this. I don't know how to do this. But if you do it, sometimes say Sumedho, you'll find all kinds of things about me. I hope they're all alive. But what the Buddha was pointing at was not conventional Buddhism, but at Dhamma, or the way it is, or the truth. Here and now, it's a timeless, it's a kalika. Akaliko Dhamma means timeless. Apparent here and now. It's the awakened consciousness that each individual human being is capable of recognizing. It's not something you get. It's just like waking up. You suddenly know you're awake. Where you might be in a dream, you're sleeping and dreams can seem very real, as you're being chased by a raging tiger. And then you wake up. Oh. It's only a dream. Well, we think we're awake all the time, even when we're not asleep. But recognize that humanity is conditioned. We're very conditioned by culture, by social attitudes, by class identities, by identities with the gender of the body, with our language, with everything. It's all conditioned. We acquire it after we're born. When you're born, you don't have any perceptions of yourself as an individual person, as a male or a female, as a European or an Asian, or anything. You're conscious. There's consciousness, and that consciousness is experienced through the form, the physical body. And that's Dhamma, that's the way it is. And then after, of course, we're born, then we get conditioned. You are a little boy, and you're an American, and your name is Robert. That's what my mother said. And you're a Christian. You to be baptized. And so I went through the whole conditioning process. Because this was the conditioning, you're American boy. And I'm not like this, some of us very good, I'm not complaining. But to recognize the conditioning of how strong this conditioning is, and how blinding it is, and how as long as we are attached to any condition whatsoever, without seeing that, we're going to suffer. Even when we got the best conditions, even born into wealth, beauty, good fortune, it's still conditioning. So in my experience in Thailand, with Luang Por was like seeing through this conditioning. Because it was very much reflected in the Thai culture. Because I was 32 years old, learning a different conditioning. Different language. It wasn't so easy to learn Thai language, you know, like English I learned when I was a baby. 32 years old, I had struggled with the Thai language. So I did learn to speak it adequately, but it's still conditioning. Even becoming a monk, a Buddhist monk, a Theravada monk, or whatever, you know, this is all convention. Now the Buddha was not trying to erase convention or destroy the world, but the Buddhist teaching is all about understanding, awakened attention, understanding the way it is. And so this has no conceptual form, you know. It's intuitive. It's intelligent. It's universal intelligence. It's not cultural learning. It's not knowledge you gain from teachers or scriptures. You know, it's not acquired knowledge. It's not biased by any cultural attitudes or religious attitudes. So what the Buddha is actually doing is awakening, a teaching to help us, to encourage us to awaken and understand, observe, recognize. Then this is done through, not through the intellect anymore, but through the intuition, the wisdom faculty. So this word panya, or wisdom, panya translates as wisdom in English. This is the discerning ability that we tune into through awareness. And this is the liberation, this is intuition, this is sati sampajanya, sati panya, knowing reality the way it is. Now this cannot, you know, in the Buddhist terms, as long as you use language, it's going to divide things up. Because language and the intellect are conditions of the mind that divide everything. They discriminate. Like language itself, is that you've got good, you've got bad, you've got right, and then there's wrong. There's heaven, and then there's hell. There's God, there's the devil, and you've got one, you've got the other. You've got the positive and the negative. Now this is how the thinking mind is. That's its limitation. As long as one is attached to the intellect, to the thinking process, and doesn't recognize the suffering of that attachment, then we live in a world which is divisive. It's divided. We're dividing it inside ourselves. There's always me and you, and there's right and wrong. In religion, it's easy to get very righteous. You can get very conceited about keeping the vinaya and things like this. You can get very righteous and about, you know, our group, our form of Buddhism, and so forth. That we can form conceits and that reinforce the ego and the sense of the self through attaching to the Buddhist convention. But recognize that the Buddha, this is not what the Buddha was pointing to. Was not becoming a Buddhist, not trying to make yourself into some ideal, or you know, trying to always try to control everything and try to fight against evil forces, but to recognize, to awaken and recognize conditioned phenomena. Because evil is conditioned, good is conditioned, heaven is a condition, hell is conditioned. It's all conditioned. Anything you think is a condition. And that condition itself is, if you attach to it, even if it's goodness, it's still suffering. It's still suffering. Even very good people suffer a lot because of that ignorance. But when you awaken, when there's awakeness, then that is that's ultimate reality. Beyond good and evil, but it's not rejecting, it's recognizing. So in the way of practice and understanding of the Buddhist teaching, the Four Noble Truths, then it moves to this this ultimate simplicity of awareness, the sense of presence, peacefulness. Like I've learned through being a monk, through being a Buddhist monk, I've learned contentment, basic things that I didn't have before, like learning to live as an alms mendicant within the Vinaya structure and the Tudanga style of life. It brings contentment because I'm not conditioned personally to be content. I'm conditioned personally to always want something better than what I have. I can always see, that they could be better. Any monastery I've ever been in could be better than the one I'm in. Everybody I know can be better than, I want them to be better than the way they are. And myself, I want to be better than the way I'm feeling right now. And I can always discontented, complaining, because that's how the conditioned mind works. Now, when you trust in awareness, you transcend the conditioning of the mind. You don't get rid of it, but you see it for what it is. And so and you see the suffering of always being discontent. And so then the contentment comes through knowing that the dukkha, or the suffering I create through always wanting something that I don't have, or what I have, not wanting it. It's not good enough, I don't like this, I don't want this, not wanting and wanting. Now that's my culture conditioning, American conditioning. It's conditioning about being discontented. So you're always presented with a better option, something higher, more beautiful, more modern, more cool, more fashionable, and gives you status and glamour and everything, and it goes on and on. There's never any end to that. And then what do? You can only stay glamorous for so long, it all crashes around you. So you're old like this, hopeless to try to be glamorous. Then you can sink into despair. But if you know the Dhamma, then you're no longer bound to the conditioning, to the body, to the cultural attitudes, the conditioning, the personality. All these, they still operate, but they're no longer coming out of ignorance and out of attachment. So to me, this is at this time, the Buddha Dhamma is a great gift to the world. And the world, people are seeking it everywhere now. We get invitations from all over this planet, not just Europe or America. There's, it's being revived in communist China, Mongolia, places that it was almost eradicated. And then in countries like here in Britain, where it was never really part of the culture. It's only recently that Europeans have shown any interest or appreciation for the teachings of the Buddha. And why is that? Because the time is one where this particular teaching resonates, it speaks to us. It's a time for awakening and recognizing, not for just developing a cultish Buddhist attitude to compete with other religions. That's not it, but to awaken, to see and to recognize the truth, the way it is, the Dhamma. So one can really appreciate the 50 years of the ESP. It was a very good idea. And my nearly 30 years in Britain, I look back with gratitude, all of you who helped and supported and encouraged me over the years. I have, feel that the time here has been of great personal value to me. Because, even though, it's different, having to establish monasteries and take on the responsibilities of a senior monk and all the rest. Still, the preparation I had under Lupo Cha was one of awakened attention. So that's never been forgotten. And so during the conditions and experiences that I've had here in 30 years, it's been one of, people praise and blame and you see monks and nuns, people to ordain and then disrobing, and people believing and then disbelieving and so forth. And on an emotional level, you feel all this. You feel the sadness and you feel enthusiastic and disappointed and all the rest. But the important thing has always been the awareness of these states. And so that's what I've learned in being a Buddhist monk over these many years, is to trust this awareness and to totally trust, to completely surrender to it, so that there's not a sense of operating in any way for some personal act to grind or attainment or achievement in that way. So many of you come from Buddhist cultures, Buddhist Asian cultures that are Buddhist. And this is very good because you have at least your basic conditioning, is based on wisdom. You don't have to, it's a matter of learning how to use it. You don't have to go find it somewhere else, but recognize. And many of us who were born in other countries, different cultures, we've had to search for it. And of course, many of us went to Asia, to Sri Lanka, Thailand, Burma, India, because there's always been this idea in the European mind that somehow wisdom is in the East. And of course, it's not in the East, it's in here, in the heart, isn't it? But that's a symbol, isn't it? Because the wisdom teachings are oftentimes the ones that we find in the Asian, coming out of the Asian cultures. Now this is a time where these kind of racial, cultural differences we hear all the time about the problems of multiculturalism in Britain, and the different, and the European Union, Bulgaria and Romania are coming in January, and all these Eastern Europeans and immigrants, and what to do with all these changing conditions. What's going to happen to England and Church of England and all the nice English things? There's this panic and fear of loss, and a kind of reference to maybe a golden age or time England was the best, and then you knew what being English was. And they were all white and Christian. But now the time where that illusion is no longer, you can't hold to that illusion, because the world isn't like that. We're on one planet, this is one environment, one organ, we're all part of it. We're all living together on this planet. We're all experiencing, the attitudes about the pollution and the destruction of the environment and all the dire warnings that we hear about endlessly of change, of destruction, of loss. Now these very things are, the sort of natural way things go. They arise, they cease, they evolve, and they degenerate. That's the pattern of all conditioned phenomena. Now this doesn't mean to be irresponsible and just, I'm not suggesting that we don't take an interest in Greenpeace or anything like that, but recognizing that also this wisdom teaching is available. It's been available all these 2,550 years. It hasn't been used all that well or all that much. And it's always amazed me how clear and precise the Buddhist teaching is, and yet how, even in Buddhist countries, how few people actually use it and understand it. It's easy to just become a cultural Buddhist, or some kind of join a Buddhist group and become Tibetan Buddhist, or Theravadan Buddhist, or Zen Buddhist, and just recondition your sense of yourself with those perceptions, where the actual Dhamma is in this natural awakened consciousness that we can experience within the restriction of these forms, these human bodies, that we have to be patient with and live with. So this here also, the Amaravati is it's a very nice place to live. I enjoy being here, and so there's been a kind of year of fulfillment for me, a sense of well-being and a lot of joy in my Buddhist monastic life. This is a result of living and using and developing, cultivating. So this also brings this sense of gratitude. That I have enormous gratitude, or in Pali, Gataveti. Now this is a heartfelt experience, gratitude. You can't make yourself grateful, even though you might like the ideal of it. You like to be grateful, but it's not, you can't force it, it's not on an egotistical level that you feel grateful. It's through reflecting on the goodness that's been offered to me, on the generosity like today, the goodness of this day, the generosity that coming from His Majesty the King of Thailand, from Dhamma and Amra, and all all of you who helped, who offered his support, who encouraged. Now this is very much, something that brings this sense of gratitude. And this is a very beautiful foundation for awareness. As long as one is ungrateful, then you always, there's always part of you that, when I first started meditating, I didn't think, well, I wasn't very grateful for anything. I just, get out of my way, I'm busy meditating. I don't have time for you, because I'm meditating. And I was always trying to get samadhi and jhanas, and so felt everybody was an obstruction to me. Because, and then if I could start feeling, getting calming down when somebody would say something, or do something, or disrupt me in some way. And so the frustration, like Ajahn was brilliant at frustrating me. I used to feel so angry with him sometimes because he seemed like, I'm trying to get in line and he's always interrupting me. And I began to get the point. And then when the reflecting on the life of, being an authentic, depending. Our life depends on goodness from others, just for basic survival necessities, food, shelter, clothing, medicine. So, and in the Samanasanya level, when you're developing what they call Samanasanya, what is reflecting on the point of being a samana, or an authentic. You're always reflecting on that the generosity that's supported by the goodness, the generosity of others. And after a while, you begin to recognize this, that you're not taking it for granted, or thinking that I deserve this, or you should support me, or anything. But it's a recognition of the generosity, because this Amaravati has been a place where there's been incredible generosity generated. People here, over the 22 years of this monastery, it's all supported on generosity, on the generousness of human individuals. And so this of course, is a sense of gratitude, a sense of real appreciation, and for the opportunity to live here in this country as a Buddhist monk without being persecuted or despised. Even last May, believe it or not, last May I was invited to Buckingham Palace. I never expected to. And it was since it was her 80th birthday, another one, 80. That's a very auspicious year, isn't it? And she was doing things, like from expressing her own appreciation in many ways, giving receptions, greeting people. And so this was the reception for people living in Britain who are over 60, who work for the welfare of the society. And then I was invited in this category. So that's very wonderful, isn't it? To be appreciated by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. Or, I would never expect to even know anything about this. She's not Buddhist, or doesn't seem interested anyway. But obviously she's informed, and so the sense of being a Buddhist monk in Britain is now, it seems like I belong here, Buddhism belongs here. It's no longer just a kind of Asian religion that people happen to believe in that come here, or some kind of exotic thing. It is a real sense of integrating it into society, like all the other, like Islam and Hinduism and the other religions. So at this time, there is so much that kind of goodness generated to Amaravati, to Chitters, to Buddhist monasteries in Thailand itself. I just came back 2 days ago. I was in Thailand. I live a very busy life. And I went to the Kathina Monastery in the north, and then the next day I had to go to Thailand, have my eye treatment there. But then there also, the generosity towards Wat Pa Pong now, What Charles Monastery, it's got electricity, it's like pot actually. Wat Nana Chat, I established Wat Nana Chat back in 1975. And it's just a charnel ground, a haunted forest. It was haunted land, you know, and it's considered a place of ghosts. When they buried, you know, the Thai custom is that if you die a violent or sudden death, you can't be cremated for a year, so they bury you. And this one of the towns where they used to bury. And so it had some kind of ghostly reputation. Well, now on a child very, you know, seeing it just from living under a tree, now it's got, you know, very well supported, very highly regarded monastery in Thailand. Now this comes all from generosity of people, the goodness of human individuals and their generosity. So today I just want to emphasize this, you know, for you yourself, to not dwell just on the negative side or the fears and worries or the faults you find in yourself, but begin to appreciate who you are, the opportunities of having a teaching like the Lord Buddha's teaching, of living in a place where you're free to develop your religious, spiritual life, to have the intelligence and the opportunity of this human birth to understand and to be free from delusion. So I'll stop here, and again, this has been a most marvelous day, and I hope all my best wishes and for your happiness and for your awakenedness and freedom from all suffering.